Hey. Yeah. By the way, we came head to head with the alley the other day, literally like this. And he's like, I'm bigger, buddy.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday. So yesterday we had a Mishnah and we had some statements of Shmuel. We had partners who were partners in a land and different halachas regarding one another. But one of the halachas we said was that if one of them was on the land, it was known to be of two partners, and then it results, let's say, in one of them taking the land, so the other partner is able to go ahead and testify in his behalf. So that's what he said. So we're at the bottom of Membeis and Mebeis, two dots, and away we go. And they can go ahead and testify on behalf of one another. So the Gemara says, "Am I nogim beidu sanheim? Shouldn't they be nogei b'davar?" In other words, so just make it easy. If Alan and Alan are partners, right? So Alan can go ahead and testify on behalf of Alan, right? Because if it was taken away from the other Alan, then Alan would have to go ahead and repay. Right? No. So let's use two different names, maybe. Alan and Randy.
Sounds like a law firm.
Yeah. Alan and Alan. And so if Randy is on the land and Alan has since left the land and basically left it to his partner. So therefore, if someone else, Mark, comes to claim the land from Randy, so Alan, of course, is going to go ahead and it behooves him to go ahead and testify on behalf of Randy. Why? Because if Mark takes it away, Alan's going to turn around. Randy's going to turn around and say to Alan, "Hey, our land was taken away. We're partners, and you sold it to me on your half, and now I'm out that money, so I want to take it back." So he's no game, but they said. Answers what he says, I release all my rights from this land, and therefore I've nothing to it. You can't be held responsible. The Gemara says, if he writes that, if he says it to him, all right, or even if he writes to him, my hobby, Vatanya, we're going to Bryce 3 lines on the top on Mem Gimel and Aleph. Vatanya, even the Chavera, dinner devarim, ainly outside the zoo. I have nothing to do with sleep, ainly a sig above. Right? I have no matters with this land in my hands. I remove from it. Nevertheless, Lo Mar Klum, he hasn't said anything. He's still in there. Right? He made a kinyan. Right? Alan made a kinyan with Randy, and therefore legally taking him out that if something happens to the land, then Randy has no claims from Alan. Oh, there's a different issue going on here, right? So Alan just gave over his parcel of land to Randy, and he took no responsibility. But wait, Alan, right, let's say bought this land on January 1st with Randy, okay, and if Alan gave out any loans before January 1st into the land, right? So let's say he loaned Mark money, right? Or he borrowed money from Mark. So Mark says, "Okay, what assets do you have?" Right? So if now that he has this asset, so therefore that asset could be used to collect a loan that Alan doesn't pay. So therefore, even though Randy can't go back to Alan, but maybe some of his previous creditors could go back to try and collect the land. So therefore, he wants to keep the land in Alan's hand for his creditor. When it goes ahead and sells his field to his friends, he can't go ahead and testify. Why? Because because if he retains it to the person that he sold it to, so therefore at least his own creditors, instead of coming to him and trying to take his house, they can go ahead and take, or whatever other assets he has, they can take that field. So the kibbutz achrayis, where he was mekabel achrayis, right? In other words, and therefore he said that if something happens to this, I'll have. So the Gemara says achrayis the man. So who's achrayis to? So we say this. In this case, Alan owes money. So it's either going to be his creditor, right, is going to go ahead and, let's say Mark is going to be out the money, or Randy will be out the money. So either way, somebody's going not to get paid. If Alan doesn't keep the land in Randy's name, right? So then the creditors is out. And if he does keep it, right, and then if he does keep it, and therefore then it'll be by Randy, but the creditor won't get paid. So the Gemara says, and who's achrayis is this? Achrayis demand. So nema the achrayis the alma. If we're talking about, in other words, any claim, that the land wasn't his, so kolshkin denichalein. Certainly, right? In other words, if they went ahead and in this case where he was makabel achrayis, certainly you have to go ahead and pay back. So el achrayis dasle machmase. He says like this: he took achrayis for if a creditor comes that from any debt. In other words, that if the creditor comes to try to take the land from Randy, right? So in that case, then he took achrayis. So therefore, in such a case, there is no benefit because either way, either Mark doesn't get paid because Mark can't collect from Randy. Or if the land is taken away from Randy to somebody else, so then Mark will be able to go ahead and get it, and therefore either way, Alan is not making good on one of the loans, so therefore he's not really nogeh b'davar. And since he's not nogeh b'davar, he's able to go ahead and testify on behalf of the land to basically see who's going to, in the end, lose out and not get paid.
I didn't follow that.
So over here, we're questioning that one partner can testify on behalf of the other partner's estate to keep it in his hands. Somebody else is claiming, that was theirs, not his partner's. So he's allowed to go ahead and testify on behalf. So the Gemara needed a scenario where the partner who is no longer right on that part of the land, right, create a situation.
He had sold out his rights.
Correct.
To the other partner.
Correct. So it needed to create a situation where he was not nogeh b'davar. Okay, because if he sold it to him and then the land was taken away, it was never theirs at all. So how could you somebody say it wasn't yours? Give me back my money, right? So if it's in my best interest to keep it in your hand, let's say you're my partner, right? So then I'm nogeh b'davar, right? Because it was taken away from you. Oh, good morning, Yale. We're on Mem Gimel Amud Aleph, like a third of the way down. Right, so no, I'm nogeh b'davar. Right, so it was a situation where if it's kept in your hand, right, I had previous creditors that they will no longer be able to get paid because it's in your hand, and this was taking out that my creditors will not be able to take the land. And if it was removed from your hand, then the creditor will be able to get paid, but you wouldn't be able to get paid. So either way, I stiffed somebody. So therefore, since I'm not nogeh b'davar in that matter, I'm just testifying the facts of the case. Therefore, I'm not really saving myself money or claims because either way, someone's going to be on the short end. So Gemara says, can a person go ahead and remove himself from that? All right, perfect. All right. So we say excuse me. So Gemara says, can a person go ahead and remove himself? As people that happens in the city, their Sefer Torah was stolen. Ain't done in B'dainei Isa here. They can't go ahead and bring the case in that town because everyone's nogeh b'davar. Everyone has a chelik of the Sefer Torah. They need to hear the Sefer Torah being read weekly. So they can't pay Mavin Raya Miyanshe Isir. You also can't have the people of the town bring proof because they're also nogeh b'davar. But if you're telling me a person couldn't go ahead just remove himself, the Salik Beitrei Minayu. Let two of them go ahead and announce, okay, I'm no longer, shaykh as the Sefer Torah, and therefore, since we're not nogeh b'davar anymore, they'll be able to go ahead and judge it. So Gemara says, Shani Sefer Torah Dilishmiya Kai. No, since the Sefer Torah is to hear it, you can't just say, okay, I'm not the owner. You still need to hear it. So you still need the town Sefer Torah. So therefore, they are nogeh b'davar. So Tashma, come and listen. I'm here to
the Sefer Torah was stolen.
Yes. So everyone is nogeh b'davar, right? So you need to have outside judges. Why don't you just say, okay, I removed myself from the ownership of the Sefer Torah, just like the other case. I removed myself from the field, and therefore I have no shaykhs. So you can't just remove yourself in the case of the Sefer Torah. So he says, no, the Sefer Torah is different because everyone needs to go ahead and hear it, and therefore you're still connected to it. So Tashma, here, guy says before he's dying, he says, give this $1,000 to the people of the city. They say, hey, and then he dies. Now the guy's heirs are saying, no, he didn't really give it away. The people of the town say, no, he gave it away. Ain't done in Medina Isa here. You can't use people at the city because they benefit. They want that $1,000. They between Ryan and she also they can't be witnesses. The Gemara says, "I was like late trade and Avshayu." Let two of them say, "Okay, we're no longer a part of the city. We're not going to go ahead and get the $1,000 that was given to the city." So it was money. It wasn't for the city or the people. Rather, it was money for Sefer Torah for people to go ahead and hear the laning. So therefore, he was no Gabadover. Yeah, I guess yeah.
So there's two cents each for.
Yeah. So Tashma, I guess it'll be all together to buy a Sefer Torah.
It's
Right, right. Even whether it's a lot or little, it's still So Tashma comes listen. By the end, we said it was resulting for a Sefer Torah. So Tashma, here. Go ahead and give a money to the poor people of the city. So ain't done in Isa. Here you can't use the judge of the city. The ain't Mavin Rayim Anshe Isa. You can't use proof from people of the city. So God says, the teeth doesn't make sense. Anim, Shakli, Dining. You see that understanding. The poor ones are the ones who get the money. So what shaykhs does they have with the judges? Ella ain't done in the dining Isa here. You can't use the poor judges of the city because they're no Gavadav ain't Mavin Raya. Ani Isa. You also can't bring proofs from the poor people of cities. So the Gemara says, your mind. It's not like Beit
Rich.
I'm sorry?
No judge is supposed to be rich.
All right, so they don't, right? So the Gemara says, your mind. The Stalku Beit Trey, not Shayla Dine. So let two people say, remove themselves. And it says, we won't take the money and, we'll be the judges. So Hachanami Sefer Torah over here, we're talking about the Sefer Torah. He's talking about leaving money for Sefer Torah. So the Gemara says, I thought it says mana for aniyim, not mana for Sefer Torah. The my kurlo aniyim. Why do they call it aniyim? So it's kol ain't so Sefer Torah aniyim. Hey, everyone is considered to be poor if there's a lack of Sefer Torah. So therefore, everyone is considered to be poor. Or v'boy sema leyelam kediktani. Like we said, we're talking about poor people and aniyim mamish. Uani derami olel. In other words, the poor people they get paid from the people of the town. So if someone's leaving money to the poor people, so then the people of the town don't have to pay. Right? Oh, we got a grant, right? So therefore, they are no game of davar. So the Gemara says, "I the echidami." Understand? The ikai, it's the if there's a set amount that everyone has to go ahead and pay. So Lisa Beit Shrei Menayu, by my the kites, the Danilo, right? Let two of them go ahead and I guess be removed. Right, be removed from that, and therefore, in other words, they'll be take the money that they were, and therefore they're no longer no game of davar. They already paid up, so there's whether people get money or not. So Hachamai skin the like there was a set amount, so therefore, if there was money coming in, the people in town would have to pay less. Or by saying, really, there was a set amount. However, when there's a surplus is good. So therefore, they're still considered no game of davar. And they can't just say, "Oh, well, they donated the money. Now they don't care," because if there was more money coming in, then they would care. Fine. Bottom line on Mem Gimel Meraf. Nasin Shtar Shemrei Sachar Zazen. They're considered to be Shemrei Sachar to one another. In other words, the two people are partners, listening to parcels. Okay, or the same parcel. Excuse me. One. So therefore, they take turns guarding. Right? And therefore, they're considered to be like a Shomer Sachar, which has a certain level of responsibility when it comes to Gneva Vaveda, right? So to be responsible. So the Gemara says, why are they considered to be a Shomer Sachar, right? Why are they considered to be like a paid watcher? Because when I'm watching, then it's like a payment to my other partner. And then when he's watching, it's like a payment to me because he's like, it's a mutual benefit. So why should you be chayiv at all? If we're both watching, so the luck is if I'm working for somebody, right? So if I do something wrong, but I'm working with him, I'm the shomer, then I'm pater. Shomer b'alav is pater. So I should be pater for any responsibility because when I'm watching it with the other guy. So my answer is where they do different days. So therefore, does not constitute shmir b'aylam. Shmir b'aylam is not, with the other person's, when he just exists, when he's in town, is when he's working with you. So therefore, since each one takes a day, one does Monday, one does Tuesday. So therefore, when I do Monday, I'm like a paid watchman. How am I a paid watchman? Because on Tuesday, my partner is going to go ahead and watch the land for me. So therefore, he's paying me back that way. Fine. 2 dots, 3 lines from the top. Tanya Rabbanan. Machaloi bayis, machaloi sada, ein meid alo ala mipnei shachrayis alav. A person goes ahead and I sell mayor, I sell him a house or I sell him a field, and then all of a sudden there's Eddie comes along and he says, "This is my field. What are you doing on a mayor?" I can't go ahead and testify that this field belongs to mayor. Amen. Why is that? Because we pray shachrayis alav. Because if Eddie takes the field away from mayor's going to say, "Yo, I just paid you $1,000 for the land. Give my money back." So therefore, it's in my best interest for mayor to keep the land. So therefore, I can't go ahead and testify. However, if I go ahead and sell mayor a cow or a garment, and then all of a sudden Eddie claims, "This is my cow, this is my garment," I can go ahead and testify that the cow or the garment belongs to mayor because I didn't take responsibility for the sale. So if Eddie would have gone ahead and taken it away, so it would just be bad luck for mayor. He can't go back to me.
So it's helpful.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's not it. So my generation, I understand. If I go ahead and sell something to mayor, I said, "I'm going to sell you this cow." And mayor says, "How do the cow's yours?" I said, "Look, if someone takes away the cow, I'll reimburse you." Okay, so that does work. So why in the Resha was there like a full 100% 5-year guarantee, and the other one there wasn't? What's the chiluk? Why mashna Resha, mashna seifa? So this sugi is actually going to get into tomorrow, but let's start off. So Amar Rav Sheshes, Resha beruvein shegazel sada meishima. So let's follow this, right? So Reuven shegazel sada meishima u'machal Levi. So I stole. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and be Reuven. I stole land from Avrami. Okay, I stole land from Avrami, and then I sold it to Meir.
Oh yeah.
So Reuven. I'm Reuven. Shagazal son of Shimon. I stole it from Shimon, which is Avrami, and I sold it to Levi. The Asa Yehuda, and comes along Eddie, become Arab, right? Eddie is coming, claims, says, "Mayor, what do you do with his land? It's mine."
So it has anything. Yeah, Reuben's from the.
He's Yehuda. What?
Reuben never owned land to begin with.
No, Shimon never owned. Avrami never owned it to begin with.
No, you were.
No. Avrami owned the land, or Avrami in this case, Avrami owned the land. I came, sold to Mayor. All of a sudden, Eddie comes back from out of town. He has a new car, and he says, "Mayor." He says,
Mazda.
So he says, "Mayor, what do you do with my land?" Okay, now that's what's going on. Also, you do the Kamara, the loyal Lizel Shimon, Alasadi Levi, right? In other words, now Avrami says, "You know what I should do?" He doesn't want Eddie in the picture, right? Because when Eddie's out of the picture,
He gets back.
clearly I stole it from Avrami and sold it, so therefore he would get it back. So his best interest, Shimon's best interest, is to get Yehuda out of the picture. All right. So he can't go ahead and testify on behalf. Oh, it should stay with Mayor. It's not Yehuda's. Right? Because he wants Mayor to win versus Eddie. Eddie takes a hike. Mayor has the land, and all of a sudden, Abraham brings a new case. Mayor, why are you on the land? You stole it from me and sold it to you. So Gemara says, understand, if Avrami says this land belongs to Mayor, so how can he come along the next week and file a new suit says this land is mine, it's not Mayor's? Wait, you just said last week against Eddie in court that it's Mayor's, not Eddie's. So what's going on here? Right. You can't change it. Hey, so the Gemara says, he says, no. I know the land is definitely not Eddie's. That's what he was saying in this case. I know it's definitely not Yehuda's. It could be anybody else's. You'll find out next week when I bring another case. But I'm testing it. Definitely not Yehuda's. He claimed he got it. He wasn't there. He's out of town. Understand? So if later on he's going to go ahead and prove, right, that it's Avrami's land and not Mayor's. So why doesn't he just bring, he's going to bring proof that it's his own, right? So why don't you just bring that proof against Eddie, right? What are you going this way? First, saying, oh, it's not Eddie's. Okay, Eddie's out of the picture. Now he brings proof it's mine. Just bring proof it's yours from day one. So maybe the Amar Hasheni Noach La Harishon Kashiman says, you know what? Eddie is very difficult in court, right? Meir is easy. So therefore, he'd rather go up against Meir to bring his proof that he owns it versus bring his proof that he owns it against Eddie. So therefore, Eddie has good lawyers, and therefore he wants to stay away from any court. Or Viboy Sema, or the second case, and we'll soon get into this tomorrow. Going to Isai Sahadi Lamar, Isai Sahadi Lamar. Now, both Meir has witnesses and Eddie has witnesses, and therefore, in these cases, right, we're going to say that each one has witnesses. Avrami has witnesses, and Eddie has witnesses, right? So it says in this case, wherever the land is, right now, Meir was on the land will stay there. So therefore, in this case, it's 2 versus 2, the land stays with Meir, and therefore he'll be able to go ahead and argue this case later on. And we'll continue with this case tomorrow. Hashem. Everyone have a wonderful day. Suspense is killing.